And now, without any further delay, let's begin our event, sponsored by IPD and IBM and hosted by Insurance Networking News. I'd now like to introduce our moderator for today, Era Tremley, founder of Era Tremley, the Insurance Tech Consultant. Era, you now have the floor.
All right. Well, thank you, and thanks, everyone, for being with us today for our seminar, Effectively Assess, Manage, and Resolve Short and Long-Term Disability Claims. My name is Era Tremblay, but before I tell you about me, I have a question to ask you. So I would ask you to respond to this, you and our audience. The question is, are you challenged with managing your content at the moment? That's a yes or no question. So yes or no, use your mouse to click on either yes or no. Are you challenged with managing your content at the moment? And I'm just going to give you, I know it's a straightforward question, I'm just going to give you a few seconds to answer that before I close the poll. And we see, okay, we have more coming in. All right, let's get our poll numbers up if we can. Let's show those. And it looks like more than two-thirds of you, 68%, are indeed challenged with managing your content. And that's interesting because obviously that's going to be part of what we're talking about today. Let me tell you a bit about me. I am Era Tremblay, founder of Era Tremblay, the Insurance Tech Consultant. I'm a consultant, journalist, speaker in the technology field, notably for insurance and financial services, formerly with National Underwriter, and now a featured blog with Insurance Networking News. We, as insurers, obviously, claims are among the most critical operations we own. So being efficient and cost-effective is of paramount importance to us. As voracious users of technology, we want to know how it can help in that regard, serving our insurers in the best way possible. So today, we're going to focus on assessing, managing, and resolving short and long-term disability claims. Joining me today, we have Philip Jones, who's part of the IBM team that works with customers and partners to identify, develop, and promote ECM solutions. Over the past 20 years, Philip has held a number of leadership roles with IBM/FileNet in both the U.S. and Europe. Also joining us today, Corey Williams, who is the Director of Disability Metrics and Information at Sun Life Financial. He has worked with Sun Life for over 10 years, starting in the information technology practice and then transitioning to the group life and disability area 6 years ago. And finally, joining us in our Q&A portion of the program will be Mike Schofield, the Senior Manager at IPD. Mr. Schofield has extensive experience and expertise in systems project management, including scope and deliverables, definition and information technology management, covering content and document management, as well as workflow and business process management in insurance membership. Okay. Before we get to our panelists, let me remind you that we do encourage you to ask questions, and you can do so at any time during the presentation. Simply click on the Q&A pane, type a question in the type a question for the presenter field, and then click the Ask button, using your scroll button to scroll to your answer if necessary. So please do ask your questions as they occur to you, and we will try our best to get to them at the end of the presentation. With that, let me hand it over to our first speaker, who is Philip. Philip, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Ara, and good day to everyone. My name is Philip Jones, and as you've heard, I head up the Enterprise Content Management Business Solutions team here at IBM. And essentially, our team works hard to help you solve your business challenges faster through packaged applications that are sitting on top of our core ECM technology. And over the years, we've established a formidable network of partners that is working with us to help identify, develop, and implement solutions for different industries. Well, one of our premier partners for insurance is Image Process Design, or IPD as they're more commonly known, and they've been working with us for almost 20 years now. And in that time, many of North America's leading insurance companies have come to rely on IPD to help them automate their mission-critical work processes. And the IPD application is called Ultera. It's been developed to run on the IBM FileNet P8 platform, and it allows organizations to get those rapid business benefits from their investment in this market-leading technology. And as Ara has mentioned in his setup, we're going to be hearing from Sun Life Financial, today, a leading international financial services company that's implemented the IPD solution. And in his presentation, Corey Williams will explain how Sun Life has excelled in customer and employee retention. He's also going to talk about how they've dramatically improved their service standards, enhanced their decision-making capabilities, and saved $2 million in staff-related costs in the process. So I think we're all going to learn a lot today from his talk. So without further ado, I'll thank you once again for joining us and move our meeting along by passing us back to Ara.
All right, thanks very much. And obviously we have another question for you in our audience. So let's see where you are on this. Are you challenged with ensuring future tasks and disability recovery plans following up on are addressed? All right, are challenged with ensuring future tasks and disability recovery plans are followed up on and are addressed? Or is that a challenge for you? So please put in your vote. It's a yes or no question. Not worded real well by me, but that's okay. Please put in your vote, and let's see if you all are challenged by this. And I'm going to ask, all right, let's get our results up there if we can. It looks like the great majority of you, about 84%, are indeed challenged by this, and that should be of interest to our panelists as well as to our discussion. But let's move on and let's get to our next speaker. Okay, the floor is yours, Corey.
Thank you very much. As mentioned, I'm Corey Williams from Sun Life Financial, and will be speaking to you about the benefits of our system, Ultera. It's a complete workflow and imaging system, and I'll describe how it has transformed our operation. So the future is now. There are several requirements that customers are requesting of us: faster, cheaper, better quality, but also considering the environment at the same time. There is a requirement to run a business as green as possible. Every organization needs to be socially responsible. This is a large step forward from a paper environment with stacks and stacks of paper to one where everything is available online. Fewer requirements to print or photocopy the documents or files. Our customers are wanting decisions and actions faster than ever. They want the same service and speed no matter where they're located across the country. Accessing everything online allows us to respond in the expected time frame. Our customers are wanting their claims handled in an efficient way. They're not just wanting faster service, but cheaper too. The faster and easier you can respond, the more efficient you can run your business. A lot of resources get tied up in our operations responding to customers, so providing the information to them first prevents the inquiries, whether it's by phone or email. All to say, the world we live in must be sustainable. This trend isn't going away. We need a platform we can build upon and continue to evolve to meet the growing needs and demands of our customers, and create additional products and service offerings based on this. I'll describe a little bit about Sun Life Canada. Sun Life Group Life and Disability has more than 550 employees, including our abilities case managers for both short-term disability and long-term disability, our health management consultants, also known as rehab consultants, who work from home offices all across the country, our payment specialists, our eligibility analysts, our front-end admin staff who do the claim setup, mail prepping, scanning, indexing into our systems, and then our strategy and best practice areas. We have abilities case managers in 6 regions: Vancouver, Edmonton and the Prairies, Waterloo, Toronto, Montreal, and Halifax. We have a large operation where we receive, process, and manage approximately 54,000 short-term disability claims per year. We receive approximately 14,000 long-term disability claims per year and have 45,000 LTD claims in our entire block at any point in time. We have an imaged environment where we have all of our claim files available online. Built into this tool is workflow management that allows us to create, assign, and track all follow-ups and key actions on a claim. Through this environment, we have developed sophisticated reporting. We have created a measure and manage environment within all of our product and service teams. We must be able to track each and every item in order to continue with this direction. We have truly transformed our business by leveraging the technology available to us. We continually invest in technology. Every project we initiate we look to ensure the technology supports the project. There must be strong synergies and relationships between the business process and practice and the systems our staff use day in and day out. We'll be touching on each of these items throughout the presentation. In the past 3 years, we have really changed the way we manage our claims. Within Group Life and Disability, our mission is to assist plan sponsors in promoting the health and well-being of their plan members, resulting in financial peace of mind. As health promoters, we apply a fair and consistent approach to claims management. We engage plan members through open and respectful communication that considers the medical, social, and personal dimensions of their claim. Our philosophy is work is healthy. It's our practices and technology that allow us to live our mission and philosophy every day. Speaking about STD, we have implemented a new model that's focused on faster decisions, paying those claims for those qualifying for the benefit for the length of their illness, and streaming the longer duration claims to a more complex skill set for case management. In a recent industry survey, Sun Life's STD results were the best among participating companies as measured by absence duration. Speaking about LTD, we have increased our controllable recoveries by 34.5% over the past 3 years. Of all LTD absence resolutions, 90% resolve within 2 years, approximately 67% within the first year at an average duration of 9 to 10 months. We constantly seek to improve our performance and have successfully reduced the average duration, which was 12 months in 2006. This equates to a return to a healthy and productive lifestyle an average of 2 to 3 months earlier for our plan members. This means significant savings for our plan sponsors in employee absenteeism and also for us. Reducing the duration reduces the length of time we need to manage a claim, therefore increasing the churn and in turn reducing FTEs, not to mention the impact on reserves. Using our practices and leveraging the technology, we have very impressive results when we manage both the STD and LTD. Because we have a real strength in managing durations and with extremely smooth transitions and sharing of claim information, there are distinct advantages for companies that have both their STD, including the salary continuance services, and LTD benefit plans with Sun Life. We have 51% better LTD recovery rates on average compared to companies where we manage the LTD only. We've better average duration among absences that resolve in a return to work, 7 months on average compared to 10 months where we manage the LTD only. We have successfully moved both our STD and life claims down from a service standard on new claim decisions from 5 business days to 3 business days. By having an imaged environment and workflow management, we're able to move the claims around to those who have the ability and capacity to manage the claims upon receipt. With the new STD model, where we stream the claim by complexity, we were able to remove $2 million from our claims operation in full-time equivalents, or FTEs, as I'll refer to in the presentation. Within our LTD operation, we were able to identify capacity within our existing teams and offices and move those claims around to maximize the capacity and skill set, therefore reducing the number of people required to manage the existing block of claims. Our health management consultants, or rehab consultants, all work from home offices. They are able to access the entire claim file online, so no longer are they required to work in our claims offices. They live in the communities where the plan sponsors and plan members are located, so they can easily assist in recovery and return to work planning. Through this, we've been able to reduce our footprint and therefore create additional savings. As stated, we have a very large claim volume, each with several documents per file. All are stored on our systems, and we can effectively manage across 6 different locations plus our home office staff. Each year, we receive more than 600,000 documents, and each document has at least a couple pages, if not 20, 30, 40 pages. When we have a question or an inquiry from a plan sponsor or plan member, we have the ability to pull up the relevant information in the file to respond immediately, from anywhere, and by anyone. As mentioned, as soon as we receive the necessary forms, we can route the claims directly to the appropriate staff. For STD, we have developed a business model that allows us to triage based on complexity and send the claim to the appropriate skill set at the appropriate time. For LTD, initially we send it to for eligibility review and then for medical review. Medical is the price of entry. Making that decision is very important to our customers as they're looking for financial peace of mind, as you would have heard in our mission statement. When we receive new or updated information on our claims, we can get them attached to the online claim within hours of receipt and then notify the appropriate person immediately, whether it be the abilities case manager, the health management consultant, the payment specialist, or the eligibility analyst. In the last few years, we've been able to make several changes which has allowed us to be more cost-effective and reduce our unit cost for each product. We've been able to centralize our administrative front-end services to 2 locations where they originally were located in all 6. In these locations, we are able to scan and index all received documents and complete the claims establishment process. I'm sure you can picture an insurance company with stacks and stacks of paper and files with the requirement for large filing cabinets. This is not the world we live in. We've reduced the need for on-site storage. So as I mentioned, if we have more than 600,000 documents come in each and every year, being able to store these off-site so that they're not within our claims operations is a significant savings. Through centralization of the administrative front end, our payment specialists, and our eligibility analysts, we have realized savings due to the size of those centralized teams. Our new STD model of streaming the claims to the right skill set and the LTD right sizing to maximize the capacity, we were able to reduce the total number of FTEs we have in our entire operation. Through centralization, we are able to effectively implement standard and consistent business processes and practices across the functional teams. This also assists in workload management in case of absences, where we can move the work around as appropriate to ensure we maintain great service and effective case management. Through the technology, we have approximately 40% of our total staff working from home offices, with some teams as high as 60%. A few years ago, this would have been unheard of in the industry. And as I mentioned, our HMC operation, or our health management consultant operation, all work from home offices. Overall, this has allowed us to deliver a more cost-effective business model. By having a completely imaged environment with very sound workflow management practices, it opens up the doors for many other options or future enhancements, including offshoring or maybe other business opportunities. As you know, we have a number of key internal partners that assist with our case management. Using the workflow management capabilities, we are able to send a referral and include the relevant documents on the claim or the entire claim file itself. Some of our partners we may send a referral to are our health management consultants, our rehab consultants, who work from their home offices all across the country to assist in return-to-work planning. Our health partners are our doctors or medical consultants that we may refer a case for a medical opinion where we may be beyond the average duration, the duration guidelines, or if there's a complication in a file. Our managers, who may complete a manager referral and give their opinion and partner on a more complex case management plan. And our solution providers, who consult on the use of some case management tools, such as vocational evaluations, work hardening programs, etc. Through the workflow management, we were able to create and move tasks and claim files around as appropriate. By having a fully imaged environment, we're able to do case conferencing. We could have multiple people reviewing the file at the same time from any place, providing their expertise on a complex case. We have different people who would be involved in some of these case conferences. We have case management consultants, our highly skilled coaches who provide the expertise and mentoring. The manager would review several files for members of their team, and this practice would be very common in our weekly manager to abilities case manager one-on-one meetings. We have auditors. I think everybody in the insurance world is very familiar with auditors and the network that needs to be in place in order to support that. So audits could be performed on any key process items as well as case management audits from anywhere and at any time. This functionality has really allowed us to up our game when it comes to solid case management. Our philosophy is the right case management plan on the right claim at the right point in time. It is this platform that has allowed us to do this effectively using our various partners and skill sets across the entire organization. The more content our staff is, the better their overall performance and the better our business outcomes. We have flexible work arrangements. Whether this be work-from-home arrangements on a permanent or periodic basis, we're able to accommodate. Having a fully imaged environment has made these options possible for our staff. By allowing multiple people to view the same claim at the same time from anywhere in the country, we are able to better mentor and coach our staff. This has allowed us to fire on all cylinders and deliver our great outcomes. It's much faster to review and respond to any question an abilities case manager may have when managing a tough case. We no longer have clutter on our desks or in cabinets. There's no challenges with locating key parts or forms or the claim file itself. With everything available online, we no longer have any lost files. We are able to effectively manage the caseloads of our staff. This, in turn, allows us to make sure we are maximizing existing capacity and to also ensure our staff are not overloaded so they can apply the most effective case management plan to each of their claims in their entire portfolio. We are able to attract and retain the best talent anywhere in the country. We're not restricted by geographic location. We were able to create a very robust quality program that sets us apart from our competitors. The technology is the backbone for our quality audit program, allows the quality auditors to view any file. We can audit any file at any time as the need arises. We are able to quickly identify and respond or correct any issue that does arise within our operation. We have very extensive and elaborate reporting. Our joke within the operation, but it's true, is that if it moves, we can measure it. This has allowed us to develop a lot of tools to help identify key opportunities so we have the right case management plan on the right claims at the right point in time. This is critical to our success. We have recently developed a portfolio summary, which is a tool that shows every single abilities case manager all of the key results and performance indicators so they can action and drive the best case management plans on their entire portfolio. This is available and waiting for them every Monday when they come into the office. Since we have this at an individual level, it's allowed us to create a manager version representing key management items for their entire team, and then create an office version for our 6 locations, and finally to a national version for overall management and oversight. We believe that everyone has accountabilities, so these reporting tools allows everyone at all levels to take ownership. By having everything online, we have a very secure and confidential environment in our offices. Protecting the privacy of our plan members and plan sponsors is extremely important, so having an environment like this allows us to live our core principles. Key takeaways. So if I were to summarize this, we have a much more cost-effective operation where we've been able to reduce our unit cost for all of our products and services from several angles, including FTEs, the footprint, and use of third-party tools and services. The speed and effectiveness of response gives the customer a much better experience and the peace of mind they deserve so they can focus on getting healthy and returning to work rather than stressing about their financials and likely worsening their condition. Only because we've had this environment have we been able to review and transform our key business processes and models that impact our short-term disability and long-term disability claims. It also impacts some roles like the key health management activities, our claims management partners, as well as our front-end services. We are able to retain and attract key talent through some of our flexible arrangements and lack of geographic boundaries. We are a much more environmentally friendly company. We do as little in paper as possible. The direction we've been able to take our life and disability claims operation is really amazing, and this only sets us up for future evolution. So at this point, I'll be passing it back to Era to take questions from here.
All right. Well, thank you. Thanks for that very informative presentation. And yes, we have indeed come to the question and answer part of our program. Once again, we invite you to submit your questions, and we will do our best to get to them. So let's get to some of those questions if we can. Corey, this one goes out to you. What value does Sun Life put on improved customer service?
It's very critical. In our mission statement, we do talk about service and providing financial peace of mind. And for a lot of our plan members, this is the first experience and the first touch that they're going to have with Sun Life Disability. So the decision is the most critical. They want to know if their claim is going to be approved because it's an income supplement product while they're experiencing some kind of hardship.
All right, interesting. So how difficult was it for the users to adapt the new system?
It actually was pretty easy. We've been living in an imaged environment for a number of years now. This is a fairly new system that we've introduced, but it's very similar to our previous system. So the main concepts and functionality was cloned in here. What we did do, which actually worked very well for us and we're now carrying forward into each of our IT initiatives, is we have a location or a champion from every single office who sits in sort of the project team. And we get, obviously, their buy-in. They need to support it, but in essence, they become the champion within their operation. So when we rolled out Ultera and we did the training across the country, this champion was absolutely critical. We expected a slightly longer learning curve because it's different. But in fact, we had everybody within 3 days of leaving training back up to full speed, which was pretty amazing.
Okay. Corey, again, what business gains have you seen, including the direct benefits from an enterprise content management system?
So there's a number of things. Obviously, the big one, or one of the big ones, is the reduced cost. So whether this be the footprint, the fact that we've got approximately 40% of our total staff working from home office means that we need smaller office locations, therefore saving money there. Our FTEs, I talked about the $2 million save on our short-term disability product alone, and then you have the centralization of some of the non-customer-facing teams. So there were some savings there, as well as the maximizing capacity within our LTD operation. We also do referrals to some solutions providers. So it's making sure that we've got the best case management plan, which can use third-party tools or vocational services. So it's making sure that there's the appropriate use of those. So those three pieces are probably the most or the biggest driver on reduced cost. Another benefit really is the service to our customer. So much faster response when there's a question or inquiry, whether it comes directly into the operation or into a call center environment. We're able to look up the information within the file from anywhere and respond real time. We very rarely would need to sort of say, we'll call you back. So we're able to get to that first. So it makes it a much better experience. And also our new claim decisions. By having workflow management and everything available online, we were successfully able to reduce our short-term disability decision time from 5 business days down to 3. So we're getting the claim forms in, we're reviewing them, we're making that decision and getting back to that plan member in a very, very short period of time. So service is absolutely critical. And from a results perspective, we definitely have more effective case management. So it really has improved our results. When you're looking at our LTD durations, we've been really able to shorten the average duration, which means that we're able to release the reserves in earlier than we would have in the past. We've been able to increase our recovery rates. And we've also, where we have the STD and the LTD, and I touched on this, where we can have a smooth transition and we're managing the claim right from the very beginning and making sure that all impacted staff who are working on that claim file, whether it be short-term, whether it be long-term, there's a smooth transition and the case management plan continues, which has resulted in significantly better experience on the LTD block for those clients. And we've only been able to do that because we have had the system in place.
Great, thank you. And an audience member would like to know, what are the metrics you use for determining the complexity of STD/LTD claims, and then to determine the skill set needed to process the claim?
Good question. What we have within our operation when a claim comes in, we are looking at the information contained in the claim form. So what's that expected return to work date? We are looking at the condition and medical duration guidelines. So are they in line? Are they in sync? If it's something that we're expecting that return to work and it's a fairly simple condition, it's going to a skill set that can look at it from an eligibility and medical perspective and get that decision out there fast. Where you have some complications or you're looking at a claim that's expected to be considerably longer than our average duration within the STD period, that would be considered a lot more complex. So it's really a combination of some of the information that would be contained in the forms, the condition, as well as other influencing factors that we may need to consider into a more complex case management plan. So then looking within the skill set of our abilities case managers, it's a different level of staff. So we'd obviously be providing different training. So depending on the type of claim, it would be going to a skill set that is really just looking at the medical, looking at things within expected guidelines. Some of our more complex skill sets, they would have much stronger telephone interviewing skills. They would have a much more medical background as well as a functional background, so they can look at the function of the individual in addition to the medical.
Okay, interesting. And speaking of interesting, here's a really interesting question. Do you think that making it easier for claimants to submit claims has resulted in an increase in the number of claims you've seen?
No, I wouldn't say that it has. When I would look at our entire operation like this, I would split out where we have just the STD for a particular client, where we have just the LTD, or where we have STD to LTD. Now, if you're looking at the combination, so the STD to LTD, with that, it is a much smoother transition, but we're getting the information in time, and we're starting good, solid case management much earlier prior to the end of the LTD elimination period. So it's a nice, smooth transition that has the case management running right through. There's no sort of stopping and starting again. So I wouldn't say that it's easier. It's just more timely.
All right, interesting. Mike of IPD, here's a question for you. What are the key functional needs for a disability claim solution?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would have to say that probably the most important functional feature is actually the integrated desktop that presents all the required information, all the relevant information in case-based user interfaces. And that actually has a lot of underlying functionality to it. So it's bringing forward all the relevant contents of the documents and faxes and forms. It's foldering it into a very usable view, very user-friendly view. It's attaching subsequently received documentation into the folders. So there's that sort of content aspect of the integrated desktop. There's, of course, a very big data aspect to the integrated desktop. So instead of having to manipulate and navigate among host systems for all kinds of data, multiple screens, we consolidate all of that as a function of interfaces into the integrated desktop, so it's the sole source for that information. And the desktop also then has all the process tools that are needed to advance the case, hold on to it, pend it, route it somewhere else, and so forth. So the desktop is probably the key functional feature. In our solution, somewhat unusually probably, the next big piece of functionality is the capability to both explicitly or ad hoc or on an ad hoc basis manage the process. So where it's feasible and desirable, the movement of the case, the progression of the case is very much automated and is expressed in a workflow map. But the unusual piece that a lot of solutions can't do is to allow discretionary progression of the case, ad hoc routing, where at the discretion of the case manager, they want to decide what the next step is, what the next task is, where it should go next, to whom it should go next. That part is fairly unusual to marry both an explicit and an ad hoc process. And carried along with that from the prior polling question, that includes all the future task scheduling as well as notification capabilities, automated escalation capabilities that really make sure the case is being timely progressed. And then, of course, the reporting and dashboards and decision support tools, particularly on the claims intake component of our solutions, that sort of provide contextual guided questions for case setup. That's important. The ability to bring in all kinds of content inputs, so fax and paper and telephonic claim intake. And sorry, I'm going on and on, but lastly, probably the sort of configurability of an IPD solution is also very important, very accessible to business analysts, amenable to quick, rapid change as you get new clients and new business requirements. That's probably the key functional features that I'd highlight.
All right. Great, Mike. Thank you. Corey, back to you. Question. Can claimants submit claims online, and can physicians and employers submit claims online?
It is a good question, and that's just something that's really coming out in the marketplace now. So do we have that functionality right now? No, but we are reviewing it, and hopefully we'll get it in place in the near future. Because we have this existing system in place, it's one of those business opportunities that's now available to us to pursue because we have the platform in place. In terms of physicians and plan sponsors, what we have a lot of the forms or documents coming in is we're having it right faxed. So it's coming faxed, being entered right into our system, and then our front-end people just link it to the claim, and it's an instant notification to the abilities case manager or whomever within our office or operation needs that information right away.
Okay. I'm not sure if it's a two-part question or not, but I'll ask it the way it's asked. How has Ultera helped reduce reserves, and can claims review as part of their reporting?
Okay, so the first part in terms of the financials or the business incomes, what the system has allowed us to do, because it has full workflow and we have complete oversight of that, we're able to make sure that on the claims we have the right action at the right point in time and that it's appropriate for the claim. So we're really tight with our case management practices and processes, so we end up with a better outcome. The sooner we have the case management in place, the sooner we can get the resolution. So that's impacted us considerably on the reserving side. Another side is the oversight. I talked about reporting and the joke, if it moves, we can measure it. It's true. We have extensive reporting capabilities because we have everything online. We have key data that's stored from the systems, and we do use it in regular reporting, whether it be daily, whether it be weekly. We're able to put those metrics in place so we don't really have delays in our case management if we can get there. Saying that, it also gives us an opportunity to make sure that we're clean and we're tight on all coding pieces. So we're able to see if by some chance a claim is still sitting there as open, or there might be a coding issue where it's not appropriate to do so. We have seen significant reductions there as well. Now, the second part of the question, can claims, meaning the plan member or the claimant themselves, view the information online? If that's the question, then at this point, I assume it is, yes. At this point, we do not necessarily have a window for the plan member to view that. We do regular communication as part of our workflow system, and communication is key to our claims management practice. So we're talking to the plan members on a regular basis.
All right, so Corey, other than short-term disability, long-term disability, what other types of claims can this system support? Is there a particular reason this is only integrated with STD and LTD claims programs?
Within our disability operation, we really are looking at the STD and the LTD. We also have salary continuance products and services that we're offering, as well as some fee-for-service. So it's not just those two benefit types. We also have waiver of premium, but I was just referencing the more extensive. Within Sun Life, we've actually rolled out a full imaged environment on our health and dental side, which is using this same platform, which is absolutely huge in the Canadian marketplace.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our time for today. On behalf of IBM IPD Insurance Networking News, This is Ara Tremblay, the Tech Consultant, wishing you a pleasant day.